Come and get it, come and get it, with Peter Russell-Clarke. In the city or the outback, he's Australia's brightest spark. Come and get it, come and get it, good food you love to eat. Come and get it, come and get it, and there's people you can meet. Cook a shark or make a damper, feed your ego, pack a hamper, on a farm or out at sea. Learn a recipe, you're free. Come and get it with Peter Russell-Clarke.
G'day. We concern ourselves with the fuel we put in our motor cars, don't we? You know, we worry about whether the oil is going to be oily enough and whether it'll oil up our plugs or coke up our carbies and that sort of thing. We sort of make sure that the petrol is all pure and wonderful, but we don't seem to concern ourselves with the fuel that we put in our own bodies. We don't concern ourselves whether it's going to actually coke up our carbies or not. So I thought maybe I should ask an expert. Robert De Haas, you are an expert.
Thanks very much, Peter. Yes, I am. And I'm here at the moment as chairman of the Australian Natural Therapists Association. Within that association, I practice traditional Chinese medicine. And I really like that particular story you just told about Peter Brock's engine and the fuel that he put into it, and the quality of that fuel determining what that engine does. We do exactly the same within the natural therapies as far as the diet and the nutrition that goes into our engine, into our digestive system in the body.
Individually, or do you have a set plan that the world must eat pumpkin and tomatoes, or how do you work it?
No, individually, because you can't really rely on one thing being good for everybody for the same reason. So each person is an individual, and each person will react differently with the different foods and additives that we have.
Well, you know, the Olympic Games that have gone past, does a sprinter need different food from a hockey player? Or do you think that just each individual needs different food regardless of what their sport is?
Generally, you can say that for the running of their internal combustion engine, their digestive system, they could probably get away with pretty much the same foods. For some of the specialisations, insofar as that some of the upper muscles might be used in the arms or the shoulders, as opposed to somebody using more the muscles of the upper legs and thighs. So in that respect, we may find some differences in diet.
Do you think we're eating enough natural foods and maybe enough herbs?
Personally, I don't think so. I think we can make far more use of herbs simply because herbs tend to be more specific, and being more specific, you can then tailor those to the individual.
Do you think that Australians are learning about food?
I think we've come a long way, Peter. If you remember that in 1950 was basically the first coffee shop in Australia. And now we've got virtually a multicultural cuisine.
How do people actually decide to come to see you? What makes them decide to come and see you?
I think it's probably an idea that maybe their lifestyle might need some readjusting. And that lifestyle, as far as the nutrition and other ways that we might help, they come to us.
One tends to think that to have good healthy food that you just eat a banana and you do nothing else with it. What I try to do is to make the banana actually taste good or taste better. So I do put additives to it, but additives has become a bad word.
Well, some of those additives, if you keep piling on the additives, you probably get more effect from the additives rather than the basic food that you're using. But provided that the additives are kept to a minimum, simply to enhance the basic food you have, then there really shouldn't be much of a problem.
And as long as the additives are terrific. Well, I think I might try it.
Great.
So, naturally, I'm going to cook the world's largest herb, which is a banana, with one of the world's best herbs, which is basil. I just chop the basil up, pop it onto a bit of puff pastry, peel the banana, lay that down on the puff pastry, cut up some root ginger, lay that on the banana like that, then I wrap that up, brush it with a beaten egg on both sides, that goes onto a buttered tray and into the oven. So don't go backwards, fuel up to win.
Come and get it with Peter
G'day.
Russell.
G'day.